I was not surprised, Steve, because I had anticipated that what better time to do it than do it prior to the night in which the ball club was honoring Pete before a standing room only crowd at Great American Ballpark. And it happened obviously yesterday when Rob Manfred made the announcement.
And your thoughts, the timing of everything.
I'm not happy about it. I'm just trying to reconcile in my own mind why they waited as long as they did. And then within a matter of months after Pete's passing in September, now they come out and they announce in grand fashion that they have lifted the suspension and made he and Shoeless Joe Jackson, there may be others I'm not even aware of, eligible to be considered for the Baseball Hall of Fame. I just felt that he had served his jail time, if you will, far longer than he really should have had to do it. And the fact that they rushed to make him eligible within a matter of months, to me, was the wrong way to go about doing business.
I'm not sure if you've been in contact at all with the family, and I think they're going to be there tonight. But any idea what the reaction is from the family and the community in Cincinnati?
Well, I think that the community, I think, is a bittersweet feeling. They're happy that he's finally going to be considered. At the same time, they scratch their heads in wonderment over why it took to baseball, and specifically Rob Manfred, as long as it did, to take him off the suspended list. I think the family is probably jubilant because I know for a fact that some months ago, after Pete died, his daughter Fawn, who is his oldest child, had a meeting with Rob Manfred in New York. And I think they basically met with him to ask him to reconsider the situation relative to Pete and put him back on the list to be eligible for the Baseball Hall of Fame. I think whatever her presentation was and however that conversation went, apparently it went very, very well because of what happened yesterday.
You've been a big proponent that Pete belonged, in the Hall of Fame way before this. Do you think, and you hear conflicting, stories whether he would have wanted to go in after he passed? Do you think Pete would want this, or did Pete want to go into the Hall of Fame when he was able to be present to be there?
Well, there are conflicting stories, Steve. He made the comment, and he had come to grips with the fact that it was not going to happen until after he passed away. He said as much to a number of different people. Um, he obviously wanted it to happen while he could enjoy it. At the same time, he made the comment that being in the Hall of Fame is more for the family than anybody else. So obviously, he was thinking about his kids and enhancing the legacy that has at times been very, very tarnished. We all know that, and a lot of the things that Pete was involved with were of his own doing. Nobody can ever dispute that, and Pete certainly wouldn't have done that anymore after he admitted that he bet on baseball. But I think at the end of the day, if the best that he could get would be to go for his family, probably would be satisfying for him right now.
Last thing for you, Marty. Everyone can obviously look at YouTube, and we know he's the all-time hits king. You had a great seat for a lot of those. What was it like being behind the mic for many big memories for the greatest hitter in baseball history?
Well, sometimes I just step back in wonderment at him. He had such an analytical mind. If they gave Phi Beta Kappa keys for baseball knowledge, he would have been hands down the first one through the door. He could tell you a team's pitching rotation 3 weeks from now. He could name you the rotation, and 95% of the time he would be right. And the other 5%, the only reason he was wrong was because one of those guys got hurt between the time he laid it out there for you and the time the series got underway. He was great with young players. He had a pat line when he met a young, promising hitter, whether it be with the Reds or with some other ball club, and he'd say, let me give you a scenario here and tell me how you respond to it. And the kid would say, what? He said, let's say you had a base hit in the first inning, you came back and you doubled down the left field line in the fourth, and you're 2 for 2. Are you happy? And most of the time, the kid would say, I'm thrilled to death. Pete said, you failed the test. He said, if you go 2 for 2, you want 3 for 3. If you go 3 for 3, you want 4 for 4. And that was basically his credo in terms of the way he approached the game. Nothing less than his best would he ever consider satisfactory. And he tried to spread that around every time he talked to young hitters. Somebody would ask him, you think your hitting record will ever be broken? And he'd say no. And his reason was, he said, well, let me change that. Maybe somebody would have a shot. He'd pause for effect, and then he would say, they'd have to get 200 plus hits for 20 straight years. That put it all in perspective. He was really an amazing guy.